What is up, my fellow creepers and things that go bump in the night? Welcome back to yet another episode of Creature of the Night. I am your host, Toxin, of course, your friendly neighborhood sinner. Hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell to let you know every time I upload so you can keep up to date with me, guys. You should know this. Like Human Centipede, I believe it probably came out before it, but it's one of those movies that I seen once and probably would never see it again just because I can handle a lot of gore. I can handle a lot of, like opening up, just bloody shit. The gore porn, I can handle it. It's just, I don't know, this movie, it was a damn stomach jerker, and again, I would only see it once, and I'm speaking, of course, of Slither.
Something's wrong with me.
Slither. Now, if you've seen the movie before, you know what I'm talking about. There's just a lot of body manipulation, body morphing, merging, this becoming part of that, him becoming part of her. It was a lot, okay? So essentially it's taking place in a small town, an asteroid lands, and it's actually, again, it's infected with alien life, okay? It's like we've seen this before. And we see Grant, who's having problems, marital problems, it's going to sound bad either way I say it. His wife he feels like his wife is just not attracted to him. She just doesn't want to give it up. It's been a while since they have been intimate together. Again, it goes both ways, guys. You work hard, you come home tired. There's a lot of issues with that shit. So it's just one of those. I don't want to make the female sound like a bad person, because sometimes it is the guy who's just wanting it all the time, and there is a limit. A lot of people have to come to understand that, but women have to understand that too, that there's a limit. Like, I hate to be one of those people that say sex is a big part of a relationship, but let's be adults. It is. What you won't do, somebody else will. And that goes both ways for the men and for the women. Just being honest, just throwing it out there. Preachy. I'm sorry. Been preachy lately. Oh well, get over it. You're watching my videos. So because it's another night where he's not getting any, he decides to go to a bar, get drunk, see some girl karaokeing, and he finds out that there's again, it's a small town where everybody's up in everybody's business. He sees an old friend from high school. She admits that she's had a crush on him since like forever, and she wishes that he was the one that she married and all that, even though he's a guy, he comes for money, he has a big ass house, he comes for money, he basically runs the town. And so, why not? That's like the one guy that everybody seems to go after both ways. Like, if the female has money, the guys are going after, and vice versa. Just saying. They take a long stroll through the woods, if you know what I mean. We're about to get some of that, woods action, that caveman action going on out there. Stumbles across the alien life, gets him shot with some kind of needle, and becomes infected. Turns out, turns him into a different, completely person who is addicted to meat, eating meat, raw meat, fresh meat, cooked meat, whatever the fuck it is. As long as he eats meat, he does not give a shit. And as we're going through the story, we find out that there's a lot of disgusting parts about this. Like, we find out later on throughout the movie that it's a hive-like, mind-like creature that goes from planet to planet, taking over the dominant species and basically making them become one and be a gigantic living organisms that consumes the earth, the planet that they're on, and then moves on to the next one. It's like locusts. They just move, where the food's at. It's crazy. And so this one is no different. He's slowly starting to make animalistic nests. He chooses a mate. He tries to do his wife, but the man part, because it does infect his brain. You see it like when he is shot with the needle, he kind of makes his way to the back of like his cerebellum and like basically takes over. But still, even though this little thing is taking control of the body, it's just like there's a part of the mind, a lot of the mind is not mapped yet, and that could be like the window to the soul. A lot of people believes, or if we fully unlock our mind to 100%, we're like, we could be capable of anything, like any superpower, morphing, or just all around knowledge. Or it's just the next step of evolution. Some believe. So there's a part where he's actually resisting and fighting. Like, I can't do this to my wife. I love her no matter what. But I don't give a shit about that girl who says she's had feelings for me since we were in high school together. Let me go and infect her. 2 things shoot out of his chest, and I'm guessing it injects her with some kind, like a larva or some kind of, eggs, and she becomes just unquench, like what is the word I am looking for? But she's unsatisfied. She can never like not stop eating. She has to eat. She's consistently hungry. She is starving, no matter how much she eats throughout the day. She could eat for a full, nonstop 24 hours, and it's just not enough. The things that are growing inside of her are feeding off of her, so she's trying to feed her body while simultaneously feeding the things that are living off of her. And the next time we see her, she's just this gigantic ball of flesh, literally ball of flesh that eventually erupts and lets out all of these slug-like creatures that it kind of gives me the feel of the Night of the Creeps. I don't know if y'all seen that, where it's essentially another alien life. Or it could be the same thing. Who knows? Let me know down in the comments. Is this a remake, but just a different type of remake or a different take on the same film? Again, Night of the Creeps, where they get in through your mouth, and that's how they make their way to your brain, and that's how they control you, and you become this, whatever you see, the main hub can see. Again, it's like all one living organism, and it just starts slowly infecting the town, eventually getting to the point where it does try to infect this teenage girl, but she ends up stopping it and grabbing it with her long nails before it can actually make its way down her throat. Yes, it does look wrong when her eyes are rolling in the back of her head and this thing is in her mouth and she's gripping onto it, stopping it. But it does give her clues, like it shows her, don't know why it shows that memory. If you hear crying, I have newborn puppies. They're about a week to two weeks, depending on when you're seeing this video. Who knows how old they are now. But if you hear whining, that's them, just a heads up. But she is getting a glimpse of what, like, I'm guessing like what it came from. So once it becomes a gigantic living organism and it's completely consumed the planet, and then shoots an asteroid or shoots whatever so it can infect the next available planet, and to start the cycle all over again. So she's seeing what these creatures have done to past planets, and seeing all the aliens that it's corrupted, and seeing what their master plan is. Eventually, again, becoming one living organism, and literally that is what it is. These people, once it gets to the point, like, we can kill them with fire, we can step on them, we can do certain things to kill them, but like if we don't take out the hive mind, like the king, the queen, whatever you want to say, the main, the slug prime, essentially, if we do not take him out, then it's all for nothing, because they could just keep multiplying and keep going. So yeah, like you can literally see where he's in his house, and all the people from the townspeople, they're getting undressed and they're making their way to the house, and they are just picking a spot essentially on this gigantic blob of a thing, and becoming one. That's the crazy part. Yeah, so like just becoming one with it. This is the one that is making all the noise. I'm trying to calm him down. But yeah, like if you can see him, he's a little potato, little baby pug. He's so cute. This is the gray one. We call him Travis because travieso. Yeah, his name suits him if you know who he is. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna try to hold him and continue the video. But y'all got to see a little glimpse of a puppy. There you go. Yeah, so he's essentially becoming this huge, gigantic thing of a human blob, and it's really gross. Again, this is one of the reasons why I could not watch it again. Like, he's starting to turn into an alien. He's starting to have sharp teeth. He's like, he's not able to speak. Grant is no longer able to speak. He speaks through the people that are attached to him now. Like, he communicates through them. Like, so you're hearing different voices, like, trying to get his wife back on his side to join him. He even plays their wedding song that they have. Like, their song. Every couple has one. I don't give a shit what anybody says. They all have one. And trying to get, trying to get her to join them, basically, because that's what brings them pleasure and what makes them happy. But still, like, you're an alien. You're a living blob of flesh. Yeah. So I can see how this, it would be very difficult for this to happen, So, but they hatch a plan to where they actually inject him. So, to my understanding, the things that injected the original woman with the babies, it can actually intake as well. And like, I'm guessing, like, when it's just slug prime, like, for him to feed, he has to inject something, these needles, to a person and probably drain their life force, because one of them injects the sheriff, and they starts injecting them with more larvae, which, again, towards the end, I know I'm jumping a little bit forward, but at the end, it's like unclear. So now, is he infected with the larva as well? Is he gonna eventually become this ball of flesh that's gonna shoot out or something? I don't know. But so that question is unanswered. But then he grabs the other one before he's fully injected, and he injects it into a propane tank, turning it on, and then the blob of flesh becomes filled with propane gas, which they eventually shoot with like a flaming arrow or something like that, and it combusts, and that's kind of like the end of it. Now, is it truly the end of it? Because there are hive minds, there are fleshes, like blobs of flesh out there in the universe. And since it's all linked up, so they're seeing this, in my mind, I'm guessing, they're seeing this go on. So does that mean that they're going to try again and take over the town? Like, you know, it left room to where it could be a sequel. But who knows, you know? It just depends on the writers. Or how much money it made, essentially. I'm just being honest. So, yeah. I do give it 2 thumbs up. You know, I do give it 7 out of 10. It did keep me at the edge of my seat. It kept me very engaged, just because I was more grossed out and creeped out. I know that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you be more intrigued if you could only watch it once? I don't know. I'm weird. Just have at it. I don't know what to say. But let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know what you thought about this film. If you have seen it, down in the comments. Again, if you have any recommendations for me to review something next, let me know. Or you just wanted to recommend some kind of film, or like you have an intake on any of my other videos that I've done, let me know, guys. And like I always say, if you're not sinning, you're not having fun, guys. Beware the moon. The moon.